This week's episode of Zombieland Saga is one of the strongest directed episodes of the series to date. This episode is really interesting because last week when Sakura got hit by the truck once again, it was an exact mirror of when she got hit in episode 1. Like, someone actually made a comparison gif where it was the two side by side, and it's almost like a frame for frame identical match. This week's episode, it was starting off in a very similar way to when Sakura first woke up, where she's getting chased by Tai, thinking that there's this horrible zombie outbreak, but what they did really interesting is how they mirrored episode 1, but they also switched it up a whole lot, because this time when she stumbles across the girls, they're not mindless, they're actually awake, and it makes for a much more frightening situation than just seeing a bunch of mindless undead bodies come at you, because now it's actual people who just look like zombies, and it makes for a really tense and frightening scene, because even though we know who these characters are and they wouldn't hurt her, Sakura might hurt them, and she's absolutely terrified, and you really feel kind of sorry for what she's going through, and I thought they just handled her overall progression in this episode very, very well, because she's completely broken, ready to give up, and it did so much for her character, and especially what happened in the first episode, making it even more tragic to know that she got killed when she was finally ready to try again because of a whole life of failure, wanting to try to get into the idol that she worships group, and that's just very, very sad. I really like just learning about her backstory in particular, because when you really break it down, this is what Zombieland Saga does so well. Make it funny, make it ridiculous, but also make it pretty sad all at the same time. She had a life of failure, from failing tests because she was helping old ladies, getting leg cramps in all these relay races. Like, no matter what she did, something always got in the way, and it wasn't because of a lack of effort. She tried every single time to be the best, and no matter what, she would always fail, and then the one time that she's ready to try again, one last attempt, she gets killed. I think that's both sad and hilarious all at the same time, and that's what Zombieland Saga does very, very well, is make it consistently funny, but also tragic all at the same time. And I mean, when you get that actual conversation with our boy Kotaro at the end, where he's just like, enough of this BS, I'm not gonna leave you hanging, and you really think your sob story is gonna push me away. This man, I've mentioned it before, he's a complete and utter prick, but when it matters, when he has to comfort people, he absolutely does, and it shows that he does actually care about this group past just his dream to save Saga, which is always nice, because he could have stayed a one-trick pony of just being a funny character, but it's nice to see he does have some character depth behind that persona and those sunglasses. But just seeing all the characters in this week's episode just really, really sad, because in a lot of ways, this might be the saddest for them, because this is one of their best friends, and in a lot of ways, you could say they're family now. You know, this is a family who are trying to make this idol group work, and Sakura was one of the people trying to give it her all, and now she's completely ready to give up, and just seeing all the characters really try, Lily just getting completely destroyed after being like, hey, you know, you love me, and then just completely breaking down after Sakura just shuts that shit down because I'm not cute enough for you, Lily. I'm just like, holy hell, this girl is beyond broken, and it's just very, very sad to see the group that was once so tight, so perfect together, now shattering because of the girl remembering exactly how she died in her life before becoming a zombie. You know, just having the legendary chorusing pop up being like, alright, it's time for me to put on my charm. Oh, she's already gone. There's a lot of very funny moments surrounded by a lot of actually kind of depressing and very sad moments in this episode. This was one of the best balanced episodes for being both funny, but also pretty damn tragic all at the same time. And I mean, they're really kind of teasing us right now with Yugiri, because she hasn't had a backstory, and now we're learning that the bartender that Kotaro kind of interacts with knew her in the past, meaning he's either a vampire, a Frankenstein creation, a zombie, something to that nature. I'm gonna go with vampire as my prediction, since he's lived for so long and he seems relatively human unless he's also wearing makeup. My guess is bartender is 100% a vampire, but still, if they're teasing us this, I'm curious, is episode 12 going to end the series, or are they going to confirm a second season? Since this is an anime original production from MAPPA, they could make more seasons theoretically, and I'm curious if this is just a bit of a tease, we're not going to get anything satisfying with Yugiri, or if they are setting up for maybe something next week's episode, or just a sequel in general. I'm very interested to see where they're going to go with that, but seriously, just the emotional depth to this episode with so much absurdity is very, very surprising. Zombieland Saga really has invented its own genre in a lot of ways, and I'm very interested to see if other series in the future, a couple years down the line, will take notes from Zombieland Saga and try something similar, because this is such a refreshing take on not only just the idol genre, but the zombie genre as well. The police officer is still like my favorite recurring character, because this man has seen so much shit, and I guarantee you when he goes back to the office, no one believes him. They think he's drinking on the job. There's no way zombies are roaming the streets, and I love it. No matter how many times he sees these girls, he always gets just as scared, and it cracks me up every single time. But Sakura was very, very depressing. in this episode, but I'm glad that they gave us a reason and made us understand where she's coming from. Like, by the time this episode wrapped up, I understood why she thought she was worthless, why she was ready to give up, because no matter how much she tried, no matter how much effort she put in, she has the worst luck imaginable. She recognizes this. The fact that she doesn't remember her time as a zombie, it's obvious why she's not ready to try again, because she doesn't realize that she's actually a very productive member in this group, so she thinks she's replaceable because in her original life, she was. That's a really sad and very moving story right there. I'm really glad that Zombieland Saga decided to be more than just a comedy anime. I actually wanted to tell very compelling character arcs. This is what the series can do very, very well, and honestly, if they wanted to do a second season, I would actually be okay with it at this point, because they have enough content here that after this big show of 500 people, they could do a lot more with this cast of characters to further develop them, or if they do want to just end it at 12 episodes, that would also be acceptable in my honest opinion as well. Zombieland Saga has been a breath of fresh air in the anime department, a lot of originality, a lot of creativity, a lot of funny moments. Seriously, there are so many moments in this episode that just make me crack up, but seriously, let me know whatever you thought of this week's episode down in the comment section below. Where do you think episode 12 is going to go next week? Let me know whatever you're feeling, and be sure to like the video if you did enjoy, and also hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content from me in the future. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.